Hey guys, this is going to Sky here with another Exos Heroes video, and in today's video we're breaking down FC Kylock. And this is the first character of the new banner and the black and white banner that they have now on the front page. And this is a black fake core, so we can kind of get an idea of what the passive is going to be for this style of character. We're going to be reviewing his kit, seeing how good he is, if he's worth pulling for, and then also at the end of the video probably predictions on what we can expect from this faction of characters. So first thing, let's just go right into his kit here. He is, typical Kylock, but what did they change? And he's a mana absorb 3 character, so removes enemy buff and gains 1 mana. And then additionally, if the target has 80% or more health and removes 1 mana from the target and gains mana if health of the target is 30% or less. Then he has the same passive of absorb soul. If under the effect of soul bond, heals for 100% of all damage dealt to all enemies with damage over time effect. Then lastly, he has Ascension. This is the new passive for his fake core, which is increases on defense by 20% for 7 turns upon receiving health regeneration effects, can be stacked up to 5 times. And then the rest of his kit's very similar to what he normally is, which is his A1 is deals 300% damage to one enemy, and then he has an A2 of deals 89% damage to all enemies and then corrodes the target, dealing 39% damage every turn for 3 turns. So overall, I don't see, he's just not that good of a character. I feel like this is an easy skip, but I kind of want to, his effects don't make sense to me. And it also is discouraging thinking of, because normally these passives, part of these passives are going to be applied to even the gold fake cores here in FC Smid coming up. So it's going to take a really good effect on a gold fake core to make this worth it. It's just, for me, when I see this, increases own defense by 20% for 7 turns upon receiving health regeneration effects, can be stacked up to 5 times. This doesn't fit a character that is a squishy damage dealing character like this. Who cares if you get more defense on a character like this if they're not even going to have that much stats to begin with? It makes no sense to me. So I just don't understand why they're doing that. And also his kit, I just can't think of a single place I would use this guy. This one thing I do want to say though, that this guy is paired with Dorka, and it's really hard to evaluate a character that we're getting the FC of the lieutenant character before we're getting it of the general in Dorka. So maybe you're going to absolutely need Dorka to make him worth it, but then it would take a crazy effect from Dorka to ever make a kit this bad ever worth it, in my opinion. It's just kind of weird to me that he's so underwhelming. So if we look here at all the lieutenants that actually matter, some of them are kind of random, because if we look at, I guess it's kind of an unfair comparison, but I just figured in a faction that's so starved of characters. So like, let's look at the characters of this faction. There's Naomi, Kylock, and Dorka. Those are the only characters here. So it looks like Kylock is the underwhelming one of this faction, but maybe they'll make Naomi good, and that will be the pairing, because we are going off of kind of the precedent of how they set up these characters. So first of all, we need to, before we can even really think about this, we need to wait for the fake core of Dorka. But then they always have another character that's really good. Like every faction has that second in command that's really good, whether it be Rara, April, Valentina, Rudely. Like every single faction needs to have 2. It's not just enough to have 1. So for them to make Kylock when there's really not that many characters here, I think we're really going to need to be on the lookout for the release of FC Naomi as well as FC Dorka. So maybe this faction is going to be relegated to just be splashable, like as in just a team of 1 as it is currently, because I think it just really speaks to how good Dorka is that we even really consider her in teams when she doesn't even have a fake core yet. So when she does get a fake core, it's probably gonna be even more widely used. But I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more from a character in this situation, because there's really not that many people of the Brun faction. This is the first fake core of that faction, and for it to be this really lackluster black fake core is a big bummer in my opinion. And also, not only is it lackluster, but what it is it counterintuitive of what this stat type is like FC Janai. And FC Janai, like, I don't want tankiness and survivability from a character of someone like Janai in stat distribution, I should say, not this character, but this stat distribution. When you're slow and you're squishy and you have high attack, 20% defense that's stacking is not going to make a difference. Even characters that, unless you're Tantalo, you're still pretty squishy in the front line, especially if you're going against like a Raquel team or just in general, unless you're just a completely broken character in Tantalo. Yeah, adding more defense, even if it instantly stacked up to 5 times, or up to 7 times right off the bat, it's still not going to make that big a difference in how survivable that character is. And then you look at the A3 or the A2, and then it only does 89% damage, and then it has a corrode. If anything, that's worse. Like, I would actively not want to use his A2. There's no effect on his A2 that I would ever want to use. His A1 hits really hard for a 1-mana move, but that's it. You know, I mean, right in the beginning of the game, it's like, cool, it hits decently hard, and then it's done. There's a lot of unique things with his kit, with being able to be under regeneration and then gaining health if under that of the damage done. I really like that mechanic, but if that's all he does and his moves are really lackluster, he's not really doing much for you. So that's why I think he's a hard pass. It looks like they're going the route with this faction where FC Dork is going to be the gold Ficor. FC Naomi is probably going to be another gold Fic or another faction. Like, I think this faction is going to be in the back burner for quite a while, unless on the other, because it looks like there's 3 characters of this faction now. There might be another 3 to close out this banner of characters. So maybe one of those characters is going to be involved there, but we have no data mine or any leaks yet of those characters, so I doubt it. But overall, pretty disappointing character. I was expecting him to actually be pretty good, but turns out he is not. All right, guys, well, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about FC Kylock, if you're going to be going for him. If anything, I think he looks badass. I think they did a really good job. The art team did a good job as per usual, but the character is really not worth pulling for. And with that, guys, I am out. Peace.